Welcome back to CTR, Cancer Talking Room. My name is Linda. We are talking about all issues that related and regarding cancer. I'm trying to put these things down as I can still remember them. So please subscribe, like my videos if you happen to watch this video. Yes, I was diagnosed with cancer called plasma cell myeloma stroke leukemia. So I'm talking about most of the things I'm talking about here. I've experienced them, so I know how it feels when I'm talking about them. And then some issues, I just add some things that I've learned when I was dealing with treatment, and I'm still dealing with some other issues as we go on in this journey of having cancer. So today I want to tackle a very sensitive subject. The subject is about caregiving or caregivers that are helping patients or loved ones that are being diagnosed with cancer. I don't know if it's easy for caregivers to dealing with the patients that are dealing with other kinds of sicknesses, that diseases that are different from cancer. So I will specifically try and talk about caregivers that are helping cancer patients and cancer survivors. If you are a caregiver in that field, but when we are talking about our loved ones and family members who are just giving care to cancer patient or cancer survivor, I think it's different from any other diseases. If you're giving care to a person who's got a runny tummy or just having HIV, I think it's a little bit different because medication in that field, it's much easier to deal with. It's easy. We kind of have more information how to take care of those who are living with those kind of chronic diseases. Just being diagnosed with cancer, I wasn't even having any idea about any cancer people, just to make you to go back to where you come from and how you feel about it. And then there are a lot of emotions involved in going back and talking about what happened when you were diagnosed with cancer. But I'm here trying to talk it out because it helps me when I'm talking about it. And it, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm happy because it has helped me. So I've written some few sentences here. So now, yes, I've written some few sentences here so that I can remember when we're talking about caregivers. And that's number one. I just wrote that caregivers need to learn and help their loved one or patient to be independent. When you just diagnosed with cancer and you're still in treatment, there are things that you cannot do, that's for sure. Sometimes you need help to standing up, or you need help to bath, or you need help to go to the toilet, or you need help with everything, even with cooking, eating. Some people need to be served to feed them. In extreme cases, some people will need to be given nappies. But if you are in a treatment where there's still hope that a person can survive that cancer, if there's still hope, if the doctors are still giving treatment, and your job as a caregiver, try and help your patient to reach a stage where they're independent. They can do things for themselves. I think it's in our human DNA that we want to do things ourselves. We don't want to be dragged around. We don't want to be dragged around. We don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to be reminded of things, all those kinds of things. But when we are still sick, I'm talking as a patient now, we do need help for you guys that are giving us care to kind of help us to go back to somewhat a normal life, So it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one, especially if you care to another person, because that's what you like to do, that you enjoy that. And to be honest, if it's your loved one that is in a dire situation like cancer, you want to get involved so that you can feel like you are a part of it. But let me just say this without any fear or favor, is that fear of contradiction, is that make sure that you are helping another human who likes to be independent. It's just in our DNA. We just like to be independent and do things. Honestly speaking, I'm speaking as a man here. As a man, I like to be taken care of because we are a bit lazy. In our species of humans, we're a little bit lazy. It's because I'm just a guy. I throw things around. Sometimes whatever. As a guy, sometimes you like to see your your spouse helping you, not doing this and doing that. But when it comes to caregiving on this kind of disease like cancer, loved one, to realize independence, to go to the toilet, walking. It's you can just help them, take their hand as they are walking. But if your patient or your loved one say, "Can I just do it myself?" Just give them that opportunity to fail. And it's to feel that way, that I've tried few steps and then I've failed. So, but it's a milestone to us as patients and cancer survivors that I've done something. Walking 500 meters, for me, it was amazing. It was like something out of this world. But today I'm just looking back and thinking, yeah, I was not feeling good. But just help your patient to reach the stage of being independent. And then I read the sentence number 2, I just have written here, is that as a caregiver, the days of a patient, if your patient are not the same, today I'm feeling much better than I did yesterday. Well, I was feeling great yesterday, I think. I even made, I was even cooking my nice lunch. So I was feeling great. But today I was feeling yesterday. So just as a caregiver, learn. There's a statement here that they say, just read the room. So look at your patient and see how they are that day. It's a difficult thing to do. I'm sorry that I'm giving that job to you as a caregiver, but just learn the room. Just look at your patient and see how they are that day. You'll find that they are much talkative or they are less talking, more energetic or less energetic. You'll find that they're looking in your eyes when they're talking to you, or sometimes they're not looking into your eyes when they're talking to you. Sometimes they don't want even to speak at all. They want their space and their privacy. It's because of the emotions as cancer patients we go through. So just leave them, let them be, and then find if they need help. If don't do it more often. Don't if the day is not good, don't come every 5 seconds, every 5 minutes. Just let them be. And then you'll find if you see any movement in your patient, then you see that maybe they might need your help. Just go look around, and don't. If a patient is not in a good mood, don't change your face to show it to your patient that you're fed up with them. Sorry. Just learn the room. Provide that care, but in a loving way. I know it might be straight. It's just been diagnosed with cancer, and then it changes everything. It changes your lives. It changes the routine. It changes everything. When I'm saying everything, I mean everything. Sometimes you even have to change your house, the way your house look like. You need to change your bedrooms. You need to change your toilets and your bathrooms. You change the way you interact with your children. It just becomes hectic. I understand that. But provide a care then in a way that it's not going to affect a person who's really going through the rough time. It's not easy for a patient, but the days are not the same. They're not the same for you who are not diagnosed with cancer. So understand that it will be the same with your patient, and it might be worse. Days are not the same. You'll find them that other days they are very emotional. They will be crying a lot. Give them that space, please. Sometimes you'll find that they are in a good mood. They're talking. They're talkative. Don't shut them out like they're speaking too much. Don't do that. Especially to male caregivers. If your patient is a lady or woman, just give them that space to talk it through. Give them a space to cry it out. Well, as a male patient, I'm not, but I do talk about my emotions. I do spell it out because I know that if I don't say, my caregivers won't understand. They'll just see me, I'm in a bad mood and I don't know why. I'm not a child, so I'm 52 years old. So I've learned over the years as a man to spell it out and say it exactly as it is. And then if I don't know the word of that emotion, I'll figure it out. But I've said it to say how I'm feeling today. I might look grumpy. It's not grumpy because I'm angry at them, as caregivers. I'm just grumpy because I'm thinking about this cancer thing. It's not it comes and goes. Thoughts comes and goes. So give your patient that space as a caregiver. Number 3, I think that sentence that I've written down is that. So I've written this way. Let me just read it as I've written it. Learn patterns of your patient or loved one. Learn the patterns. For example, you know that on Monday that your patient likes to eat fish and chips. I'm making an example. And they like to go to bath, and they like to go stand outside. Learn the patterns and to say, okay, mostly in a week, they would like to eat 1, 2, and 3. They would like to do this 1, 2, and 3. They would like at this time of the day, it's better because they like talking, and this time of the day they like their space because they like to relax and rest. So you figure it out. Maybe after their medication they don't want to talk. Maybe they talk a lot after medication. For example, like myself, if I was going to, as I was going my chemo, different emotions, and remember that after steroids, I'll be wanting your patient or your loved one likes most, especially when it comes to food. Then you can still buy those things and try and figure it out as it goes. You'll figure it out. But try and see what they're interested in and what they're interested doing. Just follow that. Just follow, go with the flow. Let me just say it like that. But I written another sentence to say, but at the same time, look at them when they're in a good mood. Say, you'll notice that the particular food that they're not eating too much, they started eating it a lot, and then all of a sudden you can see that they are no longer that keen to eat that food. Don't just come and bombard them with questions. And to be honest, as a cancer patient myself, I don't know if I still want to eat particular food or not, because for some reason I'll just try and eat that food, and then I'll find out that's not my cup of tea anymore. I wasn't eating fish at all, but now I can eat fish. Not that I love it or like it very much, but it's one of the proteins that I've added up into my dish. But I find out that's not bad, really. It's not bad. I can eat it. So find those things. But if you want to ask your patient or your loved one struggling with cancer, just look at just have a good timing of it. Let me just put it that way. You can see if the mood is fine and your patient is feeling great. Try ask about food quickly then, because I know that as a caregiver, you're struggling. You really don't know what to prepare, how to help. And ask. You'll get some answers then. You'll find that, say, the patient will say, stop, let's stop it for now. Let's stop that kind of food for now. But instead, let us add this, and then, for example, I eat dark chocolate. Sometimes I don't want to eat dark chocolate. I'll just stop it. So you need your caregiver then to be smart and say, if the mood is right, can I buy your dark chocolate this week? Or you'll hear the answer now. Can you wait on that for now? And then I'll tell you when I'm back on it again. But you need to find a good timing, because if you just bombard them with questions, the other that when we're in treatment, chemo, sometimes our cognitive function doesn't work as they were before, because we kind of, I think it's because of the treatment as well, but I think it's because of being hit hard by having cancer. So your brain takes a little bit of time to process things. Just give them the chance then to have that time to think it through as well. It's not easy for your patient. I know it's not easy for a caregiver as well, but try to give them that space. Yeah, that's what I've written here, So, and then it helps as well to know as a caregiver that you can subtract some stuff, minus those things, and then add some things, It helps with this in a good swing of things, before you can even ask, that if I'm going to the shop, I know my patient will need 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Those are basics. You end up knowing what is really basic, and then what are add-ons, and then you'll find the add-ons as your patient as well enough to speak things out. To stress is that please give them a space, give them the time to be back into their independence. That's what we're striving for. We give them space and time to be independent. As much as a caregiver, you are helping, you're giving a helping hand, you're lending them your hand so that they can start to take some few steps in recovery. But at the same time, make sure that their recovery belongs to your patient, to your loved one, and push them, not in a way, I'm using the word push here, in the right way, not in the wrong way. Just help them so that they can stand in their 2 feet, let me put it that way. And then once they can stand into their 2 feet and start to do things themselves, so you help them, you walk along them as well as they do that. And because the thing is, once your patient or loved one can do things themselves, and then they go out and then they start to live again, it becomes wonderful. I don't know how to explain this because I'm a patient, but I can look at the family faces. You can see the people are happy around you, because they can see your most important thing is for your patient or loved one to reach certain milestone. and then you see that they feel good, and then they look good and they look great. And then you can even hear the words they are using when they talk, and they just sway from being all negative. You can hear all the words are now starting to be more positive about life, looking at life differently, still dealing with medication and treatment, but you can hear the language changes. But they cannot do, they get help from you as a caregiver. I've said a lot, but please take it into heart. I'm just giving you as a caregiver some tips. It's a long video. Please just watch it, and maybe you can learn one or two things. Thank you.